mysterious force of the formation created by the Hun. Missing slowly unravels energy.
Devil Purification Lotus Fire
Made the flames in his body dim.
Feeling danger, the fire rages on. His body swells into a giant of fire, while the sea of magma below continues to churn, with pillars of larvae shooting into the sky. The formation that restrained the heavenly flames began to violently tremble, space around distorted by its brutal resistance. Honmessing shouted everything.
Transfer all of your power into formation. If this seal is broken, we're all going to die here.
The seal on his hand changed, followed by a surge. Abundant Doki channeled into the formation. Despite doubting everyone quickly, funneling their Doki into massive formations. Formation starts to grow, pillars of light getting dense, and suppress the demonic flame with the power, which is getting scarier.
Inside the formation,
The Devil Purification Lotus Fire raged.
his voice boomed full of hatred.
You guys are trying to seal me. Who do y'all think y'all...
Wave after wave, flames containing the power of destruction hit the formation.
Insane backlash.
It made Honmessing and the others vomit blood. Without hesitation, he threw his blood essence into the formation. Xian and the others were surprised to see the scene. They violently clenched their teeth,
And also spewed out a mouthful of essence blood into the formation. Spike of light emanated from the arrays of mysterious formations. Don't care.
Devil's Fire thrashing.
Fought with various ferocious attacks. That third rank heavenly fire.
Finally in the shrink into a capsule the size of a palm. That radiates terrible heat.
Thus, Demonic Purification Lotus Fire successfully sealed. Honmessing laughed, satisfied and grateful, to all the clans. Hun won't forget your help.
The black capsule was still floating in the air, and everyone's gaze was on her.
This time, the seizure of the essence of the Devil Purification Lotus Fire officially started. Without further ado,
Everyone immediately moved to get... Xian, with the rest of his strength, ripped a crack of space in front of him,
forcing the capsule to change direction.
Honmessing's face immediately wrathful, staring intently at Xian. He immediately yelled,
Ordered the Deputy Chief, Whole of Souls and Honpeng to act.
At the same time, Xiao Yan and the others also shot into the sky to get
Demonic Purification Lotus Fire Capsule.
Anyway, he has to get it.
While Kelangu,
They're not interested in that fire.
but they just wanted to make sure that third rank heavenly fire didn't fall into the hands of the Hun clan and the Soul Hall. Right when his hands were almost...
Grabbed that Demonic Purification Lotus Fire Essence Capsule.
Vice Head of the Soul Hall unleashed a powerful attack.
Shooting.
Immediately pushed the Demon Fire Essence Capsule towards the group. Sunar then released Huang's finger to block the Deputy Head of the Soul Hall's attack.
Burst of energy shook the sky.
Waves of energy spread in all directions, pushing Xiao Yan and the Vice Head of the Soul Hall backward at the same time. Everyone reacted to the current situation. Move forward fighting over the Devil's Fire Essence. In the midst of the commotion, a Bansang expert managed to get Essence Capsule, but her laughter became the end of his life. The 10 attacks directly hit his body into a mist of blood. For a moment, the situation above the sky became a chaotic battleground, fighting over the Demon Fire Essence Capsule. Xiao Yan immediately gave recovery pills to Xian, Hello, and Ganan. In an instant, Xiao Yan lunged into the middle of the crowd, but the Deputy Head of the Soul Hall shot directly to block him. Before he could move again, without hesitation, Xiao Yan ordered Slave. The flames restrained his opponent that Soner Guking, Japanese, and the others were invading from all directions. In an instant,
A fierce battle broke out, ensnaring the Deputy Head of the Soul Hall.
an advanced 3-star dosing
Is under siege.
Utilize. The gap was Xiao Yan, shot out and directly grabbed the Lotus Fire Essence Capsule.
Purification of the devil. But at the same time, it turns out the hand...
Honpeng also grabbed another part of the Essence Capsule, Kompeng standing there, while looking at him with a cold smile.
and said,
"No one has ever been able to snatch something from my hand." Without much nonsense, Xiao Yan, smashing his palm enveloped in heavenly fire, right into his face. Honpeng just laughed sarcastically, then replied with his own palm. Boom ripples of ferocious energy exploded as both palms collide. Space around them had severe cracks. Even Tu Bansang around it was bounced back by the terrible pressure. Honpeng stared intently at Xiao Yan and said, "With that heavenly flame that you're proud of, I'll show you today how fragile your power is." Malahap power suddenly exploded from his palm. Xiahu was surprised when he felt the heavenly fire in his hand forcibly sucked, little by little, to the body of the Honpeng. Realized himself in danger. Xiao Yan withdrew his hand and threw a flying fire essence capsule into the sky. At the same time, powerful Dokai erupted when Xiao Yan unleashed the fire-breaking technique and merging 4 God Seal skills. 2 attacks, the powerful cruelly shot towards the Honpeng. Honpeng released his strength to the limit, releasing the Wind Tiger Palm technique, which contained the destructive power. 2 forces collided above the sky. A surge of energy erupted, shook the earth and shocked all parties. The sea of fire spread in all directions, made the experts retreat in panic, dare not come into contact with a raging fire. In the middle of that blaze, only Xiao Yan and Honpeng continued to fight fiercely. In the power of heavenly fire, Xiao Yan attacks are getting more and more brutal, ferocious without pause, but Honpeng stay calm, untouched by the slightest wound. After exchanging attacks several times, Xiao Yan's figure suddenly appeared above his opponent's head. Without a doubt, he removed my fingers and my palms. At once giant fingers and palms, released simultaneously, charged to Honpeng. Honpeng just smiled coldly. He raised his finger and pressed against the empty space. 2 pillars of black-purple light shot out from the crack of space. In an instant, the 2 pillars of light hit Xiao Yan's attack, then devour them until they disappear. When the impact happened, Xiao Yan finally understood something. Inside the body of the hidden Honpeng power, Sirius, who is able to devour everything. Even his heavenly fire could be swallowed if he was caught off guard. Honpeng smiled and said, "If you only had this technique, this battle could end now." Or the Hun clan on his forehead formed. In an instant, his aura suddenly penetrated the 3-star dosing class. Xiao Yan instantly unleashed his spiritual power, and his spiritual avatar appeared by his side. Honpeng's face turned serious. The avatar is no less powerful than Xiao Yan's original body, and in spiritual power, he knew he was under. Xiao Yan raised her hand. 5 clusters of heavenly fire appear and spin, forming a 5-ring fire expulsion formation. At the same time, his spiritual avatar grew into a giant. The seal in his hand formed quickly, then unleashed the Divine Anger technique. This time, Divine Anger is unleashed by the spiritual avatar, Xiao Yan, whose strength even surpassed when used by its original body. Sea of fire flood the sky above Yoyan. Giant 5-color fire plates slowly rotating, suppressing the world with destructive wild energy. Honpeng's face finally turned serious. Black-purple Doki surged out of his body. The terrifying battle aura made the experts around hastily retreat. They fear being dragged into that destruction. Fire expulsion plate 5 rings. The sound of ice-cold Xiao Yan, his finger pointing down. Fire slabs thousands of feet high. It slides down towards the Honpei, like a meteor falling. Carry the destructive power, creating space cracks along its path. Even the sea of magma, dozens of rebuffed underneath it is split, open a giant chasm. At the same time, an illusory figure beside the spiritual avatar opens his mouth. Divine Rage of Huanghan. Spiritual waves that shake the soul. Dart out. Face that horrific attack. Honpeng forms a seal and releases the mirror. Swallowed heaven from his body. She spits out purple-black blood, forming light,
like a mirror, with a suction force that engulfs everything. Attacks from both sides collide. There was no catastrophic explosion. There was just a mysterious shockwave. Fire 5 colors, dimmed as it touched the curtain of black light. But the crazy energy keeps shaking it until the whole mirror shakes violently. Then the spiritual attack arrived. Wave after wave hit the mirror with a clock. Hanpeng's body shakes violently. A mouthful of marjan syrup came out of his mouth. He never thought Xiao Yan's attack will be this strong. Cracks began to spread in the heaven-swallowing mirror. Xiao Yan's eyes stared coldly. His body fused with his spiritual avatar. A giant illusory figure that almost disappeared opened his mouth again and throw up sonic waves, spiritual that shakes the soul. The strike arrived like a bolt of lightning. Hanpeng's face immediately turned gloomy. He pressed the space with his finger to withstand the attack. Yet at the same time, Mirror Swallow's heaven shattered into pieces. Xiao Hu laughed coldly. His body flashed like a shadow and appeared in front of the Devil Purification Lotus Fire Essence tablet. A large hand snatched without hesitation. The Demonic Purification Lotus Fire Essence finally fell into his hand. But Xiao was stunned when, from within that Fire Essence capsule, heard the sound of a heartbeat, as if there were living things breathing in it. The Devil Purification Lotus Fire has apparently evolved to be almost no different from humans. However, just now he was about to retreat. Space around him suddenly shook. A figure stepping out of the void. That big hand stretched out, shut down the entire street. Xiao Yan escape. A voice emerged from the emptiness and said, "The Devil Purification Lotus Fire is not something that you can take." The cold voice echoed in the ears. "Make a heart," Xiao Yan vibrating. The head of the Soul Hall murmured. This person seems to have recovered very quickly. Xiao Yan quickly raised his head. Hanpeng pounced like a great eagle. But Xiao Yan didn't panic when he said, "No devil fire, but there's a fire lotus. I'm gonna give it to you." He stepped back while releasing 5 heavenly flames and create the lotus of the flame of destruction. When the head of the soul hole appeared in front of him, Xiao Yan said, "I'll give it to you, Xiao Yan." Not backwards. When ruthlessly throwing the fire-destroying lotus, Hun Messeng was filled with shock and condemned the actions of Xiao Yan. But instantly, Fire Lotus explosion did not give life. A loud, startling sound caused someone's ears become deaf, echoing in the distant sky. The sky seems to be drowning in a mysterious silence. After that powerful voice was emitted, 10,000 FT high firestorm, sweeping the sky, many stunned eyes watching this terrible storm. Even Hanpeng admitted, with his full power, he could not take such a terrifying attack. I need you.